Good afternoon, this is Midshipman Andrew Doe, second class, and I'm going to be talking about a steering gear test that I did on the motor vessel Maersk Yorktown. It was my first ship during my period of second sailing, and the type of steering gear that I had is an apparatus called a Rapson slide. How this works is there are 4 hydraulic pistons that are practically connected to each other. Each one of these sets works in opposites. Whenever, say, port side hydraulic piston is pulling, this starboard side hydraulic piston will be pushing. So for instance, if you follow the color coordinations for rudder left, this piston right here will be extending itself, this piston will be pulling it in, and the exact opposite is going to be happening on this side. This creates perfect rotation going around the rudder post such as this. This bonnet is connected onto this post, which allows it to slide freely. And some of the checks that we do prior to this are to make sure that this is functioning properly. This is a lot of weight on it, so we cannot have too much steel rubbing up against each other. So whenever we get a call from the bridge for an hour notice, we wait around until 45 minutes until we actually run this test. When this happens, you go into the steering gear room, you run a few tests on it, you see if there's oil in the containment underneath. If it's there, you know there's a leak. It's hydraulics, so there's going to be leaks everywhere. You check the hydraulic tank, the feeder tank that's going to be feeding these pumps and the sumps for these different hydraulic pistons. And you check the grease canister. The grease canister is around here if you're looking at it from top down. You fill it with lithium grease and it will automatically apply grease to any of these rubbing points here on this part of the Rapson slide, this part of the Rapson slide, and this post. And how the test will start is once we get the call from the captain in ECR saying we're ready for the steering gear test, it'll send someone back aft where we will put on a set of headphones with a microphone. You can hear into it. We will call the bridge from there, and then whoever would be on watch, whether it's chief mate, second mate, third mate, or even one of my fellow cadets would be on there. I would say we're ready for a test. They would tell me the rudder heading. Around here near the actuation of the Rapson slide, there's just a little compass here that'll give you the heading. I'll say like 352.1, whatever it is. And then from there, they will tell me that they read me. They'll repeat the command. They will repeat the heading back to me, in which they will hang up. From there, we start the steering gear test. As the test is going on, after I hang up the phone on whatever mate I called, from there they will be testing an amplifier. These hydraulic amplifiers is one located on the port side, one located on the starboard side. These are the electric connections that take the signal from up on the bridge or whichever part it could be steering and sends that signal into the hydraulic pumps, which will then actuate the hydraulic pistons. So the sequence in which the hydraulic test takes place, they will start off with amplifier number 1. Have it set to that up on the bridge steering wheel. From there, they will actuate the steering gear, and we will just watch to make sure it does all that. Goes left 15, the angle goes left 15, back to right 15, over to center line, left 30, all the way to right 30, back to center line, back to 0. And we run that test repeatedly. We run it off amplifier 1, and then once amplifier 1 has been tested and completed, they'll run it off amplifier number 2. Do the same test. Left 15, right 15, center 30, left 30, right 30, center. Once that's done, we then get the second amplifier back on. So we will then have 2 amplifiers running. This is when we run the different tests on the bridge wings as well as the centerline console. Because normally we like steering with both amplifiers just as a positive means of feedback. So if one fails, we still have the other one online. So we don't have to waste all that time turning one off, setting it to local, getting all that on. If one of these trips while both are online, they'll still run. So that is when we have the center console up on the bridge get tested, exact same test, left 15, right 15, center, left 30, right 30, center. Then we will go to the left bridge wing and then the right bridge wing. During that time, the engineer who's down there, or myself, if I'm the individual trusted in doing the steering gear test, we will just be listening for any funny noises, seeing if there's any gear leaks, seeing if there's any kind of overheating, any clanking noises. And of course, if there's any damage that's happening to the steering gear, we need to call immediately and let them know. Now, following the completion of this test, you will hear a ring on the phone because you still have it, the set of muffs on your head. Go pick up the phone. Whoever just did the test will answer. They said, they'll ask how it was down there. I will tell them the update. Normally it's no leaks. Normally there's nothing really wrong with it. That's of course what they want to hear. Once I tell them that everything is all satisfactory, they will give me a time. For example, 10:15 in the morning. I will then take that time, go over to the logbook in ECR, write down steering gear test sat 10:45. From there, I will call the bridge again at the EOT, we'll run the EOT test. From there, we just monitor the engines and wait for startup. We go through all of our sequences and everything to make sure that we're ready for maneuvering, including different jacket waters, getting the distiller online, making sure we have enough generators. This is one step that goes into our departure plans every single time that we leave any port. So that is the entirety of the test that we ran for the Wraps and Slides steering gear on the Maersk Yorktown. That test